Hello everyone and welcome to This Week is Stupid for the 30th of January 2022. I hope you all had a miserable day because that would give me a great opportunity to entertain you. I can't entertain people who are already entertained. I need some material to work with, which is why I hope you had a miserable day. Now, in Pennsylvania, a truck carrying 100 monkeys crashed and the monkeys got loose. Do you know what this reminds me of? Do you know what this story about the monkey reminds me of? It reminds me of the early age of the internet. Let's watch a little bit of a classic to remind ourselves of what was taken from us.
I got a big monkey, and I'm gonna show you my monkey. I'm gonna spank my monkey, and you're gonna watch me spank my monkey.
Those were the days. But moving back to the actual story, a bystander who came across the scene got too close to a crate containing a monkey, which then hissed at her and gave the bystander a disease. Man, this sounds like a really great plot for a movie. I wish someone on Hollywood would pick up the script because it's really great. Apparently, the monkey hissed at the bystander, who also had a cut, and because of that, she assumes that the monkey gave her pink eye, conjunctivitis. Man, I was really hyped up for an interesting story, a pink eye. I mean, it's not COVID, okay? If it's not COVID, it doesn't matter. The only thing in the world right now, the only thing that matters, which is strong and powerful enough to bring an army of moderators and ban YouTubers for misinformation, is the holy COVID. Okay, it's like COVID, Uber alles. I mean, Uber alles over everything. It's in the title. So if you didn't get COVID from the monkey, why is it newsworthy? Why do I care? People can actually spread misinformation about conjunctivitis. Because it's not important. It's not as important. Not nearly as important. Okay? You don't see like the number of cases for conjunctivitis on CNN. And if CNN doesn't talk or care about it, then why do you? What, do you think you're more important than CNN? By the way, I love the brings instant drama to every conversation. Especially after how dare you. How dare you? Anyway, moving back to the story with the monkey. Do you know who's responsible for this? So, to recapitulate. A person driving a truck crashes and the monkeys get loose. Who is responsible for this event? The correct answer is the airlines which transported the monkey into the United States. Because you see, PETA, an organization famous for putting animals to sleep, doesn't like it when doctors do it. They want to have full hegemony on animal cruelty. You see, PETA has borrowed a lot of progressive talking points and applies them to animals. So, for example, if you're a meat eater, you're a speciesist. If you have a pet, that is enslavement. So because of that, PETA liberates the animals by putting them to sleep. Around 97% rate of putting them to sleep once an animal gets into a PETA shelter. That is progressive, PETA. That is very progressive, forward-thinking of you. And there is even that case, if you are unaware, where a couple of people had a dog by the name of Maya, perfectly healthy. And PETA took it, sent it to one of those shelters, and we know what happens in PETA shelters, don't we? So, yeah, and then they apologize to the person, okay? So that organization, I just want to give some context, like, because I want to be a fact checker when I grow up. So, not enough context when it comes to PETA. So you know what organization we're talking about. They issued a stern letter of concern to the airlines, and we know how cowardly American corporations are. If you use some leftist talking points, even the Chad powerful airline company goes, no. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry, PETA. We're so sorry. We know you're the only ones that want to put animals to sleep. We're not going to let doctors do it anymore. We bend the knee. To which PETA is very happy and excited about the progress that has been done. Unfortunately, as usual, there is more work to be done. Yes, it's called the left man's burden. There is always more work to be done because the left man has no useful skills except revolutionary, their thinking skills. And if the work would be complete, then his thinking wouldn't be needed anymore, so he would be out of a job, which is why there always needs to be more work to be done. And speaking about driving and cars crashing and whatnot, we can't address that talking point without talking about the infrastructure bill. Yes, the bill to build infrastructure, to build back better. And apparently, just before Biden visited Pittsburgh, a bridge collapsed. See, a lot of people accuse the Democrats of being communists, and I tell you that is not the case because my country, Romania, went through communism. And when the great dear leader would visit a place, the bridge would build itself, like it would rebuild itself, like the leader would fix the problem. He wouldn't be like the herald of disaster. No, like the bridge wouldn't collapse before the visit. No, like the bridge would fix itself after the visit. Just by the sheer fact that the great dear leader was there. So because that didn't happen, Democrats are being Marxists debunked. Completely debunked. However, what's interesting is that this is a great opportunity to talk about why America needs another infrastructure bill. You see, the first one was done by printing money, so the money printer went. But apparently it wasn't enough. I mean, bridges are collapsing. So what I suggest is another infrastructure bill, so the money printer can go. That is the correct progressive way. Printing money is the perfect way to fix society. Just print more cash. Doesn't matter if you can't print more stuff. Print more. More.
It's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Yeah, honestly, Fox News isn't sending their best. How can you think inflation is a good asset? I mean, just because they printed money, just because he signed the bill and he wanted the Build Back Better bill, which would have printed more money, he doesn't think that inflation is a good thing. Okay? He wants you to stop talking about it. Midterms are coming. It's not a great asset, you son of a bitch. Why are you bringing it up? What's wrong with you? Okay, Fox News. Send some proper journalists. Send some proper people. You know, hire some people from CNN. They don't get trash talked. CNN is a prestigious news organization, unlike Fox News, asking those difficult, horrible questions. Ugh. But going back to infrastructure, apparently in the United States there are too many car accidents. Way too many. And in order to combat this, Pete Buttigieg has Vision Zero. That's what he calls it. Vision Zero. In order to keep you safe, the government decides to act. Do you feel safer now? You should feel safer. If you're a car owner, you don't know how to drive fast. Okay, you play Need for Speed on the highway. You play Fast and Furious. You're a dum-dum, so the government is going to do the thinking for you and limit the traffic speed which you're allowed to have. Because you can't drive. You're unsafe. You're a liability. We are going to assume you can't drive. Lower the speed. More taxes on cars. Make it difficult for people to buy cars. Why do you need a car anyway? Huh? You need a car? Learn to bike. Exercise during the winter at minus 20 degrees. Get out on your bike. Learn to walk. Use public transport. By the way, legit question. If we would live in a progressive, multilateral, anti-racist society where people can't own private cars, because they don't own nothing, but they're very happy. People are happy. They're like, ha 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 ha, I'm happy, ha ha ha. Okay, so everyone is happy and they don't own anything and they require public transport to get around. How easy would it be for the government to just limit people's movement? I don't know. It's like, have you been a good boy? Have you worshipped the government 3 times a day? You have? Here's a QR code to prove it. Here's a QR code. Oh, you don't have a QR code? Oh, you can't use the bus. What, is it your bus? Don't complain. My private government can do whatever it wants, fucker. Do you want to use a taxi, an Uber? Do you have a QR code? Oh, you don't have a QR. Oh, you want to go camping? You want to go holiday? You want to go holiday. Have you been a good citizen? Have you been a good citizen? You've been a good citizen. Here's a QR code. Oh, you have the QR code. The holy QR code. If you're a bad citizen, you don't get it. So my question is, what would stop such a system from existing? Remember, you don't have a private car. You can't go wherever you want. China has a similar system. Look at China. Look at China. They have a similar system. They use it as a social credit score. Have you been a good person? Oh, you get benefits. People who are good with the government, they get perks. Kind of like in prison. If you're good with the security guards give you perks. If you're a bad prisoner, you get less rights. You know, you get into solitary. You get on the bad side of the guards. Yeah, that's so good, is it? What a beautiful way to run a country. I always loved prisons because you get free healthcare, you get free food, you get a roof over the top of your head, and the most important thing of all, you get safety. Like, prison gives you safety. So why shouldn't the government run like that? It's very efficient. And speaking of safety, we got a picture from Quebec. The Walmarts from Quebec are where they confine the unvaccinated while they wait for a security escort, which will follow them around to make sure they aren't putting any non-pharmaceutical items in their cart. Oh. I'm sorry, dear listeners. I'm sorry. It's just that I have tears flowing down my cheeks. Oh, this level of compassion from the Canadian government that they have, and this dedication to keep people safe has moved me. Has moved something inside me. Can you imagine how important the job of that security guard is? Risking his own safety for someone else. That is just beautiful. You know, it also could allow you to do some interesting role plays if you are Canadian. Man, I wish I was Canadian because I would have made the best role play ever. You can dress like an adventurer and you can wait for the security guard to escort you. And you can then say, "Onward, brave companion! Let us go and purchase medication from Pfizer!" And as you're walking, you can go like, "Oh, companion, I feel weak. I feel so weak. I cannot survive without the medication from Pfizer. Please, we must make haste. Take me to the aisle where the medication is situated. Already, I am succumbing to the illness." Huge success! We have finally managed to find the Pfizer medication. Blessed be Pfizer. Blessed be you pharmaceutical corporations. Keep working hand in hand with the government to keep people like me safe. And then you can hug the security guard. Give him a tight hug and say, "Thank you, you have saved my life, kind sir. However can I repay you?" Unfortunately, I'm not Canadian, so my script will never be played, but I wish I could have that on TikTok. Would be very beautiful. I would make a lot of views. And it would also be a note of gratification for the holy Trudeau, for the holy Canadian Prime Minister, which can't sleep at night because every moment of his being is dedicated to keep people safe. The only question is, though, like, who keeps him safe? This is why if I will have a son, I will tell him, whatever you do, my boy, never become the prime minister. Because if you become the prime minister, you will be unsafe. The burden of keeping society safe will rest on your shoulder, but who will keep you safe? Who keeps the government safe is the question. So make sure you teach your kids never to become the government because they're in danger. You know, like, think about a prison, right? Like, a prison keeps people safe, but who keeps the prison guard safe? No one. So why would you want to be the prison guard? You want to be the prisoner. So there you go. My essay on why I would want to be a Canadian citizen. Not a Canadian politician. No. A Canadian citizen. And there's another reason why I would want to be a Canadian citizen, and this lovely them articulated it perfectly in a TikTok video.
So I'm applying for a job, right? And it's time for me to pick one of the 4 genders. Female, I do not wish to disclose, male, or X, non-binary, Canada only. If only I was Canadian!
See, dream of my life, to become a Canadian. But unfortunately, I was born here in Romania, so what can you do? Life is unfair. I already married a Romanian woman, I can't even marry a ushi-kushi Canadian lady or a Canadian man. Why to discriminate? I think gay marriage is legal in Canada, and you can get citizenship if you marry a handsome Canadian man or a handsome Canadian non-binary. Why not? But in the meantime, let's go to other news. Prolonged pandemics have historically been accompanied by cultural change. What if we, all of us, yes, you as well, are you with us or against us, huh? I speak on your behalf, could use this pandemic to undo the cultural homogenization that white supremacy and colonialism has forced on the world. Be bold, choose what your future looks like. So in other words, you have academics who are looking at the cases that CNN shows, the death rates, the cases, and they salivate. They get, what a great opportunity this is to change society, to change the ideology. Oh, thank you for this great opportunity. Now, I thought this great opportunity could bring a little bit of fascism. You know, from China, like import a little bit of fascism, go to your waiter, show the QR code, show papers everywhere you go, have everyone monitored, like your privacy needs to be open to the public so the government can take better care of you. I thought that this would be a great opportunity to have some of that. But you know what? I'll take what's on the table. I will take the deconstruction of the white colonialism, the cisgender heteronormative patriarchy has to go. So that these people will finally shut up. Like, what are they going to talk about if they have absolutely nothing else? It's like, we have decolonized Europe. Wait, but it's Europe. Like, Dutch silence! It's decolonized. No more colonialism. Zero. Decolonized. Okay, problem solved. So, in order to please the blue check marks on Twitter, who want to use the pandemic as a great opportunity to push their agenda, DC schools investigating Holocaust lesson in which students told to play Hitler, simulate grave digging. Isn't this progressive? Isn't this what you wanted? What you want is what you get. How progressive is the maximum progressiveness, I have to say. Get them while they're young. Why are parents upset? It's just a little bit of history. It's just a little bit of reenactment, reimagining, right? Oh, beautiful. So apparently, the DC public school tells Fox News on Monday that it was launching an investigation after elementary students reported were instructed to reenact the Holocaust, including portraying Adolf Hitler and digging ditches to serve as the mass graves. I wonder the parent of little Billy. Little Billy, what did you do at school? I roleplayed as Hitler. Wow, that's based. How did your teacher allow you to do that? Isn't it normalizing? It normalizes. We need to have a conversation with the school principal. What has happened here? What has transpired? By the way, speaking of role-playing, I noticed that Netflix has a new movie with Anne Frank. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. But I do appreciate that Netflix was standing true to the intellectual property. I mean, the cast is exactly as you would expect it. If you read history, you would look at the Anne Frank movie and you'd say, huh, what an accurate depiction. Good job, Netflix. Good job. No woke washing there. We don't have Eldris Elba playing Anne Frank now, do we? Why can't they have that in other shows? Why can't they stay true to the source material in other shows? You know, it just got me wondering, and then I realized that I'm such a bigot. How dare I wonder things like this? Oh my god, I need to go to my HR lady, to my diversity consultant, and wash away my sins. I had questions about Netflix. But moving back to the news with the school, doing the very interesting play, stunning and brave, I would say. This is legitimately stunning and brave. I mean, it stuns people, and it is quite courageous to encourage a child to cosplay as Hitler in this day and age. Don't you remember when the UK went after a rock band because they were cosplaying as Nazi vampires in the Luftwaffe? And they thought that that is a danger to their democracy because one of them had political aspirations. Can you imagine if a vampire in the Luftwaffe can get into a place of power? Oh, Dios mío. But anyway, so, last week, we received a report of a classroom of students receiving a lesson that included portraying different perspectives of the Holocaust. By the way, elementary students, do they even understand what the Holocaust, like, did they even manage to comprehend? Because I remember when I was in elementary, I would start taking all my toys apart just to see what's inside, and I would just break my toys. It was very bizarre, right? Like, do you think I had the brain capacity to even understand, like what National Socialism is and that type of... Isn't it a little bit too early? I mean, I understand the concept of sex education. That's perfect. But, like, when you talk about historical things, isn't it, like, a little bit too early to teach that to elementary students? Do they even know what a mass grave is? Do they? I don't know. But apparently the teachers think that those students are ready. So, are they ready for advanced mathematical formulas? Like using hyper-complex numbers if they're so smart? You know, maybe kids these days are just smarter than the ones that I grew up with. Okay, whatever. DC Public Schools told Fox News that additionally there were allegations of a staff member using hate speech during the lesson, which is unacceptable and not tolerated at any of our schools. Yeah, imagine role-playing Hitler without using hate speech. Can you do that? You know, Hitler was a very non-hate speech type of fellow. He was a vegan, he loved the animals. Let's focus on that. Before the Russians bullied him, they surrounded his bunker and they bullied him into self-harm. So anyway, right... California inclusion student senator blasted... Oh my god. The district also said the staff member involved in the incident have been placed on leave pending an investigation. This was not an approved lesson plan. Oh, the experts didn't step in. See, I realized that since the invention of the steam engine, mankind's greatest achievement is coming up with the expert. And if the expert doesn't approve, you're not allowed to do it. So, it was not an approved lesson plan. They didn't have a license for it. And we sincerely apologize to our students and our families who were subjected to this incident. You know, it's kind of funny because, again, I'm thinking like when I was in elementary school. I wouldn't know what the hell is going on. Like, I was thinking like, oh, this is some sort of play. And then everyone is apologizing and people are getting fired. And I'm like, holy shit, what exactly did they do? I mean, I remember when I clogged the toilet and I flooded the entire floor at my elementary school, and it wasn't such a big deal like this is. You know, like, your mind wouldn't be able to comprehend at that age. But okay, whatever. In a letter sent home to parents, the principal, citing reports he received, said that the lesson included students being asked to portray participants from the Holocaust, like Adolf Hitler, digging ditches. Wait, Hitler dug the ditches? Himself? Didn't he have people to do that? Like, did he? Okay. And simulated shootings. God. But, you know, if I was a kid at elementary school, it's like, okay, now you need to simulate the shooting. I'd be like, I can't. Why not? Because I'm in a school. Can't have weapons in school, on school property, no gun laws. Come on. Come on, teacher. But simulate it. No, we can't. It normalizes. My husband picked up our child after school and there was a lot of sobbing and crying and distress. I want to see that lesson now. Oh my God. Put it on TikTok. They are traumatized, one parent said, that their child was worried that the teacher in question was hiding at their house. Ah! The teacher in question was hiding at their house. See, I told you, like, they're not understanding what actually happened, the event. But the teacher is like, I am always watching. And I was like, little Billy, traumatized. The mother who wished to remain anonymous, children are having nightmares and generally having a very hard time. Okay, you know how when you have Hacker Man? I keep saying this example, but it's really cool because it used to be the plot of a lot of movies that when I grew up. So you have Hacker Man, and Hacker Man is the best hacker, and he manages to hack the FBI or something. And the FBI managed to catch him, so they offer him a deal. You either go to prison, or you work for us as the anti-hacking division. I wish it's like that, like the school should actually get these teachers and say, all right, from now on, you're going to be working for Hollywood, making horror movies. I mean, honestly, if they're so good at making little kids cry, I want to see a movie made by them. Like, I will legitimately watch that movie. It's probably the best, because I've watched a lot of horror movies lately, and all they do is, like, cheap jump scares. I want something with feeling, something with emotion, something that gets my blood pumping, something that's not political correct. Like a pedal. And I guess I should go out more, because life is very interesting. More interesting than the movies, especially if you happen to like old Western movies. In real life, you may experience an actual train robbery. Haven't heard about those in a while, but apparently they do exist in Los Angeles. Thousands of packages have been stolen by train robbers in Los Angeles. The railroad and the police blame each other. To which a blue checkmark add something very important to the conversation. Seems like the robbers are the ones to blame. That just blew my mind. The robbers are the ones to blame. Wow. So when you pay taxes to the government to offer you protection by hiring a police force and making sure things are safe and your private property is defended, which is like the number one reason for a government to exist. If the government fails at that, it's not the government's fault. It's the criminals. The criminals are to blame. Okay. So do something about it. Catch them. Catch them so we can blame them. You can blame them if you catch them, and then you can put them in jail so they can think about their crimes. God. Yes, they are to blame. Now, can you please catch them? Holy crap, Los Angeles thinking. Blue checkmark. Blue checkmark had an idea, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wow. I just, oh, God. Okay, you know, fine. Maybe we can also blame the people screaming defund the police for the last couple of years and demonizing the police force and yada yada. Maybe they might have something to do with this. I mean, you didn't have train robberies at this level a couple of years ago, or if they didn't know I was talking about them, maybe we should do the progressive thing and blame the people talking about them, right? Because that's what progressives do. It's not politically correct to talk about train robberies, so let's just put them under the rug, right? Anyone who talks about it, they're the problem. Oh my God. Can you imagine if this line of thinking was applied to other institutions? Like, oh my God, my house burned down and the fire department refused to do anything about it. Why didn't they come? It's like, oh, don't blame the fire department, blame the arsonist. Like, I am blaming him, but I'm like, can you not put out the fire? Jesus. Stowaway survives 8,400 miles flight from South Africa to Amsterdam in the wheel of the plane. Now, I just want to point out that it gets kind of cold way up in the clouds. If I'm not mistaken, you go to minus 20, minus 30 degrees. This guy, he really wanted to leave South Africa. Like, he was determined. There's no other explanation. Like, he really, really wanted to leave South Africa. And apparently, he managed to do it after a brutal 11-hour journey. Can you imagine? Like, you don't even have television. You don't even have the waitress serving you cookies. Horrible. So I think he should get citizenship. Unironically, I think Amsterdam should give him citizenship. God wanted him there. Like, Jesus Christ himself. If you're a right-winger and you believe in Jesus, there is no other explanation. Jesus wanted him in Amsterdam. And come on, like, look how determined he is. I mean, he passed the trial. Like, it needs to be like the trial of strength or something. Probably not the trial of wisdom. I mean, it's the last thing you want to do. There's probably other more safer ways in getting it to Amsterdam, but, like, I don't know, buy a ticket or something like that. I know it's expensive and not all can afford it, but still, it's a lot safer than what he did. So, give him citizenship. That's my take. Jesus Christ wanted that man in Australia. It's divine intervention. Anyway, that's about all for This Week in Stupid. If you like it, please, I beg you, you know, like maybe Jesus can guide you and share this video around. I would really appreciate that. And if you want to, you can subscribe to my Subscribe Star. I need to do some e-begging every now and then. I know. I'll give you some buyer's remorse in exchange. Even like $5, $10. I would be grateful. Take into account I have 2 other channels. There's a channel where I do my live stream, and I'll be live streaming right after this in order to talk about some other news. And I also have another channel where I talk about entertainment. It's good. Good. Check them out. There's a link into the description. So, thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Take care.